Now it is. Sorry. So for the recording, the three of us have been chatting for probably about 20 minutes and have landed on a very, very critical area of activity that we would like to see, and that is voter education with specific focus on youth being high school and college age students. Okay, so we'll take it from there.
Good summary. And also, Pam, could you repeat what you were talking about in terms of outreach?
Oh, to penetrate the organizations we are in, because in actually to really reach a lot of these people, we have to find other way. It's kind of like what we have to penetrate the organizations, go further down than the top tiers, like in the colleges and the high schools. There are student organizations we could penetrate. There's social groups. There are also academic groups that they have, like they have book clubs, they have sororities, fraternities, and so on. We have to go deeper. Like in the business schools, there are finance organizations and also civic organizations that do different things. To get further on down, I'd also like to see us not only just educate these folks, and that's kind of a passive thing. I'd like to actually engage them and find a creative way to get them actively involved in the league, in membership or something active, not just education. Because I think if we have them involved with us, that makes us smarter. It also makes us more effective in reaching their peers.
Right. Yeah.
And we have, oh, sorry, go ahead, Pat.
Oh, I was just agreeing. No,
Yeah,
that makes enormous sense.
absolutely. And I know that there, even though the numbers might not be huge, I know from hearing Laura Mountjoy talk about membership activities that, and she gets extremely excited when there are, there's a handful of new members from UMKC. And one of the programs that I went to at, I think it was at the Plaza Library. That was the case. There were young folks there who had a group of friends of five, and they all joined together. So that's absolutely great. So now, it's now keeping them engaged through our activities and as you say, getting them, encouraging them, hoping that they will participate in, these different things that are, that we're already doing, like get out the vote and voter registration and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, like even just if we had youth members, getting them registered, getting them engaged as active members, and then having them do new citizens registration. How informative is
Mhm.
that? And then, companies often go onto campuses and look for brand ambassadors. We could kind of like do the same kind of thing where we have brand ambassadors for the league. And that's part of our penetration into these organizations so that we keep the brand ambassadors informed, and then they can go back to their organizations, their groups, and convey information and tell them about events, activities, maybe even assist them in having activities or get involved with their activities as a component of their activity. Maybe they have an event that, hey, we'll register voters, we'll come, all kinds of different things, but it's a part of that penetration.
Wow. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that when you started this conversation, you offered to help participate in the leadership of it because you have great enthusiasm and good ideas.
Well, I always enjoyed working with the young adults. And if you hit them just right, you can get them really excited about stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It sounds like you've got some good experience of doing that. Is there, were you involved with one of the schools here in Kansas City?
Yeah, I
One of
was
the
at
campuses?
UMKC. Yeah,
UMKC.
at the block school.
And a number of our members are either faculty or retired faculty there as well. So that's a good thought. Okay, a couple of other things that and Anne's kind of instructions to us um, has to do with the positions that the league has affirmed over the last few years. And I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at any of those from our website or not. I know that Pat, because you do the website, you know those positions really well.
I don't read them before I post them. Let's just say that. I just link to the book.
And Pam, how about you? Is that something that you have familiarized yourself with?
Now, I've gone through the entire website. Now, what specifically are you referring to?
Oh, in what they're the positions that the league has adopted after completing studies.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and in the last couple of years, our main emphasis was on the election process. And there were, I think, 10 new positions that were added for that. And a lot of them have to do with things that are very, very current and very critical. Um, Voter protection, election workers protection, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the question to us in the spring in our May meeting will be, are there any positions um, that we feel that any of you feel need to be um, well, I don't want to start with that. I started to say deleted, but we will be asked to affirm those positions. And so take a look at those, certainly when you have a chance. Um, I think that the consensus that I'm getting from most folks is that the positions are, some of them are quite old. They go back to even when the Kansas LWVKC was part of a Tri-County organization, even a different name. So it's undergone quite a few changes, but that doesn't mean that those are no longer important or to be aware of. When there's a position about something, that means that we can be vocal and can provide support and participate in discussions of that and have an opinion about those things. So it's really important. Um, so if you have a chance to think about that, in preparation even for the spring meeting, that would be great. And there'll be, oh, go ahead.
We'll definitely look at local positions and is it state positions?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
local and states. We won't be dealing with national
that's correct.
positions.
Pam, the way it works is that every year or every couple of years, we alternate. One time we look at, we always look at our local positions and review those because those are critical. But then we also do either the state, which is what we're doing this year, or national, which will be the next year down the road. So I think that one of the other things that, as far as our, if we're going to really emphasize or add to our list of, we want to do these things this year, the whole take someone to take responsibility and leadership for that is really critical. And so, as what happened in a previous year when we knew there was a need for youth education, we just didn't have the manpower for it. So again, I'm so grateful, Pam, that you are interested in this and willing to put some energy and your skills toward seeing that happen. So that's really important because if there's not a person or a group of people that can become involved, then it can't flourish, it can't happen. So, and I know, Pat, with all your work with Vote 411, and you and Peg wanting to step away from that a little while, I hope that you have some good members on your group that are stepping up to take that on.
Um, nobody is, I don't think anybody on the committee wants to take on those roles. We have a core group of people who do a lot of
Yes,
work that needs to be done. But so far, nobody has indicated they're interested in taking on lead. So we're trying to look at different ways of configuring the work so to make it,
yes,
we'll decentralize it to make it a little
sure.
more spread out.
Yeah,
than
and
it
that's
has.
really critical.
That's on us for not having done that already. So
No,
live and
it's,
learn.
it's a shared responsibility, believe me. So, I think we've covered some good ground here, and I'm going to ask if there's anything else that you would like to share for the record now that we have it recording.
I have a question.
Yes,
Out of my own ignorance, this probably exists somewhere, but do we have metrics by which we measure when we pursue various initiatives? Do we have metrics by which we assess our degree of success?
we have started thinking along those lines, guided by people like you who have experience with systems and comparisons. And Anne Calvert, our president, is very interested in that kind of assessment. We do, like, for example, for our, we know how many people attend forums on Zoom and online. And then, and as far as even people who visit the website, or send messages, or, so it's mostly through the social media because that's already set up to capture that information. Um, but so much of what we do is very open-ended, being at the city market with information and materials, and even voter registration. We know how many cards we get completed, which the percentage is pretty high. That count in general, my experience has been in the last few years that for the new citizen ceremonies, we've been able to complete cards for about 50% of the attendees. So sometimes that's, that might be, if there's 100 people in a session, that's close to 50 or so. So some of those, does that kind of answer what you were looking for, Pam?
Yeah, it's moving in that direction because there's one other organization that I support that's based somewhere else, run by women, Sister District. And they do have metrics and they produce a report, and it's powerful. It's powerful in enrolling people, in getting donations, because if they can point to this is what we've done,
Mhm.
then I mean that's powerful in getting people
Yeah.
involved.
What is the organization again?
Sister District.
Sister
Sister
District.
District, right.
Okay.
Hey, Pam,
That's a,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the election report that Anne and the board put together. There's a link to it on the homepage of our website.
Okay.
I would just be interested if you took a look at that and assessed how close that is to what you're thinking. I
oh,
don't
that's
Okay.
do
great.
anything regarding outcomes, and I wouldn't know how to what outcomes would we, try to measure. So like
Right.
Cindy, like you were saying, we're pretty much, how many people did we register? How many people came to vote 411 to get information? And
Right.
we do have that information, but
And
is that
Pat,
translated to?
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that is really critical. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, because part of when you set up metrics, part of it is on the front end when you're actually setting out your objectives for your initiative. and you set up the objectives in measurable terms. Like, what is it that
Mhm.
you hope to achieve by this? So that's where they tend to come from. But I'll take a look at this and see how close,
That that would be great.
yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Okay, my dog's
I
done chewing now.
well, just in time, just in time. Okay, well, thank you all very much. I really appreciate your good thinking tonight, and we'll keep the conversation going and look forward to seeing you. I think I'm not sure if our meeting in February is going or in not February. March is going to be in person, but hopefully we'll see each other in person. But in the meantime, Zoom works.
Yeah. Thanks, Cindy.
Thank you,
Thank
Nice
Cindy.
to see
you.
you, Pat.
Meeting you, Pam.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.